Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about the subject economic thinkers. On this especially we will be seeing about Malthusian theory of population. And before we see about the Malthus theory of population, we will see the meaning of the subject economic thinkers or what it contains. And if you see the meaning of this, it is the sum total of all the opinions and desires concerning with economic problems and related policies. So, every nation is facing different economic problems. So, related to that economic problems, how we can solve that. So, that opinions and the desires of different economists, different philosophers, that are contributions of different economists and philosophers that are combined in the subject economic thinkers. And when we talk about economic thinkers subject, usually we see the contributions of different people in various angles, like the contributions of classical economists, contributions of neoclassical economists and modern economists. So on this today we are going to talk about the Malthusian theory of population. He comes under the division of classical economist. And what is it, classical economics? If you see the meaning, it is a school of thought in economics that flourished primarily in Britain in the late 18th and early to mid 19th century. And there are various economists like Adam Smith, Thomas Malthus, David Ricardo, J.S. Mill, J.B. Say. They all belong to that classical economist category. And the speciality of this classical economist is they have advocated minimum governmental intervention, and they give they insist on free trade, and they always dealt with the problems concerning overpopulation. And you can see the different contributors like Adam Smith, J.B. Say, David Ricardo, then Malthus and J.S. Mill. So these people are very important contributors for economics, and they have dealt various problems like overpopulation, poverty, unemployment, how we are going to solve that. Everything is studied under this. And now we are going to see about the Malthus theory of population. Now his time period is between 1766 to 1834. And his main contributions are an essay on the principle of population. He has written that in the year 1798, and he has also written principles of political economy. And if you see his theory, he has given much insistence for the population, relationship between the population and the food supply. And he is of the view that it is not in the same ratio. Population increases, he is using the word geometric ratio. Population increases in a geometric ratio, and food supply increases in an arithmetic ratio. What is that geometric ratio? It is food supply increases in the proportion of 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. And in the multiplication form it is increasing. And food supply, it is increasing in the ratio of addition, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus, like that. So if you see the ratio, 2 into 2 will be 4, 4 into 2 it will be 8, 8 into 2 it will be 16, 16 into 2 it will be 32. In that ratio population increases. But if you talk about the food supply, that increases in the arithmetic ratio, that is 2 plus 2 plus 2, in the sense 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6. So the difference in the increase, that will be vast. Population will be increasing tremendously, but food supply will not be increasing according to the rise in the population. So he is also of the view that population doubles in every 25 years. So in 25 years, if it continues like that, he says the population will be outgrowing the food supply, and there will be a severe food shortage. So he is of the view that immediately we have to check the growth of the population. And he is talking about various kinds of checks to control population growth. And he is suggesting two checks. One is a preventive check and another one is a positive check. And Marshall suggested that those who could not afford children should either postpone their marriage or never marry. So if they are not able to bring up their children, they should not marry, or they should postpone their marriage. And he's also advising for two types of checks. One is a preventive check and another one is a positive check. Preventive checks like moral restraint, postponement of marriage. If we adopt this techniques, naturally we'll be able to decrease the birth rate. And he's also talking about the positive checks. That is, if we are not controlling the population growth, definitely in future people will be dying out of starvation, hunger, famine, diseases, war, and so on. So this will increase the death rate. So we have to reduce the population ratio. And this is the main view of Malthus. And he's also of the view that we have to abolish the poor laws. Poor laws. What is it, poor laws? You know the fact that poor are responsible. Malthus is of the view that poor are responsible for their poverty and misery because they are not taking any steps to reduce their family size. So the natural punishment for the poorer classes, it is poverty and misery. And he is also advising the government stop providing additional relief to the poor. If we provide additional relief, naturally people will not be taking any step to reduce the population. So if aid is given by the government, then more children would survive, and that will be aggravating the problem of the hungry and misery. So he is advising the government not to provide additional relief to the poor. So this is the main view, Malthus theory. And if you see the criticisms, many criticizers are there, and they are saying that the ratio is wrong. What is that? It is talking about the arithmetic ratio and the geometric ratio. Population increases in the geometrical ratio and food supply increases in the arithmetic ratio. So that ratio, it is not, correct. We cannot all the time, we cannot say that population will be increasing only in the arithmetic, only in the geometric ratio, and food supply will be increasing only in the arithmetic ratio. That we cannot say that. This is a criticizer's view. And the second one, population and food supply both increased. Malthus is of the view that population got increased or got doubled in 25 years. But food supply is not increasing up to the mark. So, this is the criticizers, they are of the view that no, it's not like that. Population as well as food supply both got increased. And the next criticism is, he's of the view that, Malthus is of the view that law of diminishing marginal returns, that applies to the land, or that applies to the productivity in the land. But criticizers, they are of the view that it has overlooked the possibility of scientific improvement in agriculture. So whenever technological development is there, government is naturally spending on the scientific development in the agricultural productivity also, so that they are utilizing high yielding variety seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, many tools and implements farmers started using. So because of that, because of the scientific improvement, not the law of diminishing returns, but we will be able to have increasing returns in the production field also. And the next criticism is, we are living in the era of international trade. We will be able to import and export the products whatever we like. Example, when we feel the shortage of certain food items, naturally we will be able to import the commodities from other countries, and that is very easy nowadays. So whenever we feel shortages of food supply, we have an easier way to import the product from other countries. And his criticisms are also of the view that it is not one of mere size, but efficient production and equitable distribution of food supply. So we are talking about food supply increases in arithmetic ratio and so on. So we are talking about only increase. But criticizers are of the view that it is not merely with the size of productivity, size of population, but we should be able to produce it in an efficient way, and the equal distribution of food supply must also be there among the people, so that the problems like poverty, misery, hunger, diseases, war, this type of problems will not be emerging. So these are the views of Malthus, and the remaining things we will see in the next class. Thank you.